Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to my channel, IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension. Come on into this cosmic grid update, as I'm going to be doing some recap on the previous group Gridwork mission that we did. And also I felt it really compelling to take a deeper and more extensive look at the diamond architecture and the diamond grid network that runs through the higher ultra spectrum of lattices, grid lattice layers of light that extenuate from particular solar activations, celestial activations in the earth body. The diamond network and architecture does seem to be extremely heightened at this time of year when we are really going through some 12-strand DNA, 12 tribal round activations, 12 solar sun disk activations inside of the Earth, which then quicken the Earth's holographic architecture to be syncing with the diamond architecture that's really held in the subatomic. It's really held in the prematter. It's really held in the inner Earth matrices of like under mantle realms, like under mantle water realms, things like this. So I think this is good to kind of talk about all of the different aspects of the diamond architecture. I have my diamond grid body charted already, so we're going to pull that up here in just a minute. And because the African grid work that we did the other day was actually very, very powerful. And I still just feel like a lot of the running root networking recalibrations taking place through the heart core of the African grid fields. I think we went straight for the purge of the heart of darkness in terms of a lot of corruption, in terms of a lot of embezzlement, and according to a lot of murderous acts that are taking place. For centuries of plagues and pandemics and needlecraft technology and euthanogenic programs and things like this. So I hope you guys had a chance to catch that last group remote session that we did. We put about 20 minutes out on YouTube, and the full video is up on my Patreon. But yeah, it was really impactful. I felt that we had a lot of clearing come through the lands. Immediately after that, I did see that this was sent to me that the Pfizer plant in North Carolina took a little, had some destruction happen to the building. There was, I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is fairly new. This was like last day's news. But it was impacted by a tornado. It looks like one of the largest sterile injectable product facilities in the world has suffered heavy damage from a tornado. A company spokesperson in an emailed statement confirmed that the Rocky Mountain facility was damaged and the drug maker was assessing the situation to determine impact on production. So this is one thing I've really been feeling lately, is as we become more masters of our spiritual gifts, as we become more attuned to the elements of nature, that even as grid workers, we have the ability to command weather. We have the ability to command, and this is what a lot of us did, honestly, as priests and priestesses of the Lemurian time. We essentially were able to modify the weather, manipulate the weather, use the weather as a force for good. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if these tornadoes rolling through had come through the commandment of some divine will that was collapsing down the negative strongholds, negative ET alien invasion tech on humanity. And so I think when we see things like this, we get a lot of confirmation, do we not? And so that's just one highlight in where the shifts from the grid work, the shifts from the spiritual healing that we do, like these things come up, they come through. And so, yeah, it's really powerful work. You guys know that it's kind of the next phase in spiritual evolution when it comes back to re-embarking upon the path of the Turtle Islands, New Earth and Future Prophecy, and the Dove Prophecy, the Swan Prophecy, where we have the return of the new age, and then the building processes that take place and are implemented by the higher harmonic frequencies of the 144 and the earth that begin to change that infrastructure. This is really ultimately what the Diamond Network is all about. I was talking about it a little bit as I was floating down the stream the other day, which maybe I'll make it a regular thing that I float down the streams and have these conversations, because a lot of people thought that was really fun. But ultimately, the Diamond Network runs extensively through Africa. The Diamond Network runs extensively through Antarctica. It's kind of the basis for it. And then Australia. So all of this area is the 0-point field globally, with ley lines that tie into the 4 pillars of man, that tie into the Lemurian network, the Atlantean network, and run, again, frequencies of the 144. They open up the passageways, the Amareya passageways. They clear out the mother and father arcing lines. They clear out the Aurora passageways, the Andromedan corridors, the Ark of the Covenant corridors. They clear out the 7 higher harmonic universes through the Earth's grid fields. This is all activated through the 22nd, the 33rd, and the 44th parallel, which is the supercharged God ley line extensively on the Earth, also dimensionally speaking, so within those dimensions as well. I'll just share my map with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Cosmic Grid update, you guys. This is all about new diamond codes that are coming in. Now, a lot of this isn't really new news. This is cyclical. This is progressive, evolutionarily progressive, and completely off the radar. So, you guys, I am seen as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to be talking about crystal worlds. I mean, I know the Gridworker community gets it, the spiritual community get it, the Starseed community gets it, but other than that, this is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, that I'm defining dimensions and realms that are ultra spectrum 44 through the 22nd parallel of the Earth. Those dimensions, speaking of an infrastructure of light that's refined by the diamond body of the Earth, the star core diamond crystal heart of the Earth. And so unless you can see into these fields, this isn't really going to make sense. The map won't make sense. And I'll do my best to explain some of this stuff in more detail, but you kind of have to get on with my channel for a little while, I think, to, again, understand the lingo, understand the perception, and how to read through the Earth's body holographic architecture, holographic geometry, holographic implants and seals and matrices systems, corridor systems, pillar systems, Stargate systems, and, you know, upgrade to the understanding and totality of what this technology ultimately is, if your consciousness is attuned to it. So essentially what you're looking at here, this is my map, and this is my diamond charted map. I don't have all the structures charted here, but I've been seeing the Earth's body restructure so heavily according to this galactic celestial race morphogenetic field restoration within the diamond body taking place. What I've been seeing is, continentally speaking, at least according to Africa, which where, you know, a majority of this diamond body is held, it's a tearing apart through the center of Africa. There's actually a physical rift cutting through the lands of Africa. It's called the East African Rift Zone. So you guys may have seen this. Okay, so this would be where the actual tear is taking place. It's cutting off the Horn of Africa and, you know, running through the East African Rift Zone along the plate boundaries. And it's just tearing apart more and more every single year, that Africa is essentially splitting apart. And it's due to the pressure of the land, it's due to the pressure of the tectonic plates, and also due to the carbon refinement of the diamond architecture that is making its way up to the surface. And so this is another area in which it just can be kind of identified where this transformation is ultimately taking place. And what's happening is it's crystal seawaters are rising. So what will happen around the continent, what will happen around the plates, what will happen through the shifts where they're merging apart is new oceans are going to rise up, new crystal diamond waters will come up, new lands are going to come up and form. So everything's going to be going through radical shifts into the golden age. Earth will radically look different 200 years from now, even. So many changes are ultimately coming as to what this is going to reform itself to be. But it is creating new land zones for new Earth. And this comes through more extensively. We get the pushes for this through the Syrian sun. We get the pushes for this through the Lion's Gate portal. And so this is what we're going to get into more, you guys. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that notifications bell, put a big like on this video if you like the content here on my channel. And let's get into this more, okay? Okay, so back to the Diamond African map here. Now, in addition, the diamond disc was installed over 120 million years ago. So this was in the timelines of Gondwana. Gondwana plays a huge role in this diamond network. It was built not of man-made or artificial crystal diamond technology. It was made from pure crystalline forms that were imported from the Andromedan, the Cygnus, the Palladian systems, the 12 through 7 central suns, and was refined through different suns is how it happened. Different suns in rotation, different suns impacting the Earth's bioenergetic field, and the suns essentially refined the crystalline forms that were imported from those galactic systems. And so South Africa is really important because it was really refined through kimberlite, and it was really refined through limestone deposits and other types of igneous rocks. So it was built so that the planet could withstand pole shifts. The diamond architecture was built so the planet could withstand solar storms. It was built for the ever-changing firmament and stratosphere and the rips and times and those space continuums that we're having to repair, so that the diamond is going to come in and hold a crystallized infrastructure of protection to withstand the tearing of the stratosphere. Now, in the town of Kimberley, South Africa, named after kimberlite, why this is kind of important to the diamond infrastructure is because there they found the largest diamond ever on Earth, an 83.5 carat diamond called the Star of Africa. So this maybe even consider the star core heart, why diamonds have been mined out of the earth. They have been essentially taken for blood diamonds. They've been taken for to be used and abused under Templar marriages and Templar egregores and soul harvesting and reincarnation matrices and traps, that essentially the diamonds are being used for these power and mined out of Africa, essentially. But the Star of Africa was a slice of the diamond disc in Antarctica. That Star of Africa they found was a piece from the ever abundant circular diamond disc that's down here in Africa. This is just my little circle of it to give an example, but this is running through the land here as a circular disc through the central zone of Africa, internal central zone. But this has been warred over by the invaders' programming, and it now sits in a museum, essentially, this particular diamond does. This diamond disc in Antarctica, what you see here in this big circle in Antarctica, this powers the feminine portal in front of the Sphinx in Egypt that sits right in front of the Sphinx, essentially. So right in front of the Sphinx in Egypt, essentially, that is probably one of the biggest 13 Mother Arc gateways. You know, we talk about Uluru being one, but really Giza and the Sphinx. This one has inner Earth access points powering the 3 pyramids that go down to 3 levels and layers of inner Earth cities. Also rising the crystal oceanic pyramid network, it's connected here to this. It's also connected to the water passageways of the Sahara Desert and the filling up and emptying of this tectonic transition through the waterways and through the oceanic principles as time changes over the lands of northern and central Africa. And essentially, if you look down here where these white markers are, okay, they're running within one known Mother Arcing System extension, but this is going deeper, obviously up into Egypt and also down to Antarctica. And essentially those white markers, they are powering the Hall of Records in the Earth's field, which is super consciousness energy field on the Earth. So right here in this ocean water between South Africa and Antarctica and Australia, there is like a portal or a vortex that opens up to the Hall of Records, or the Hall of all information, Hall of all memory inside the Earth, the inner Earth library, Akashic library. The internal spiritual diamond Earth is divided into 3 diamond crystal parts in this upgrading process now. So how this is happening is the entire diamond crystal star matrix of our internal sun is coming online. And the inner Earth diamond oceans below the mantle, there is a diamond crystal ocean flowing underneath that mantle. And so the diamond parallel disk in Antarctica is connected and is a part of all that. This is essentially setting off a chain light reaction in these highly concentrated diamond oceanic areas, rising diamond crystal temples out of the ocean, just like the light cities in the landmass that will come through the Golden City activation all over the land in particular places. There's 2 in Africa, golden light cities, that one will come in Algeria, one will come in southern region, I think like Zimbabwe. And so they're rising a diamond crystal templating, and those light cities will activate through it. Now, when all of these diamond grids come online, because they're coming on and coming offline, that's what's happening throughout the year. They're coming online, they're going off, they're coming on, they're going off. Right now they're on. So all 3 indigo templates are activating. The 4th kind indigo template is activating. The root races gain more headway in their evolution when this activates. Everyone is holding heightened spinning diamond Merkabas in their heart chakras if you're encoded to be a star core diamond crystal holder. And you essentially are paving these heart intergalactic diamond highways to other diamond crystal multiverse nations that are activating. And they are, inherently encoded to the nano diamonds of the Milky Way rotation as well. So this is bringing up a lot with serpent cities as well. There is a strong connection from the serpent lineages to the diamond architecture. They are very belly-bellied with the earth, right? So they have this stronger diamond consciousness, having it be so penetrative of the soul body. And so it's really activating inner earth serpent cities and also serpent soul river lines and song lines in the southern hemisphere of the globe. I'll explain more about that in just a moment. That's actually like a really important thing. That's a part of the New Age and New Earth prophecy that's coming forward, is about the serpent lines and lineages that are connected to the activations. And now this is really representing a refining point in humanity. I don't know how else to say this other than it's not what we think it is. We're not where we think we are. There's a whole planetary evolution of structures, of holographic architecture, of the natural and organic resources that are kicking in overdrive. Okay, so what's happening is there's 500 million growing strong indigo tribes. There's 300,000 awakened sacred guardian and grid worker and gatekeeper teams stationed all over the earth. I don't even know who they all are. I just know that they're there. And so it's breathing and giving a pranic and spiritual force into the many layers of the human collective consciousness field, sustaining and keeping that alive. This is a global planetary tribal future light template embodied that transcends any physical human limitation, hair ailment, physical ailments, mental ailments, emotional ailments, spiritual ailments, addictions, diseases, anchors the purest and powerful and most spiritually aligned existence in sovereignty, and completely aligned to the evolutionary mission. So this obliterates and strips you of any weight held within your energetic and karmic field. This is all clearing. This is going to be more prevalent as the snow in Antarctica fully melts, we go through different evolutionary phases of water rising and land resurfacing, and begins to activate the global planetary double diamond circular disk in Antarctica. This disk down here is coming alive, you guys. This in Antarctica is what is going to reshape and define the consciousness on Earth, according to those 12 central suns, according to the portal in Antarctica, according to an entire different system that is in Antarctica, considered to be New Earth, New Lemuria, considered to be Elysium. There's talk of cities of Elysium coming forward. Also talks of the cities of more reveals of Tartaria as well. There's a 2 Sphinx city in Antarctica that's running codes to the Sphinx in Egypt. So more revealing ancient technology is coming forward. And it's all aligned to the Diamond Crystal Energy Network and Grid Network, holding the African gateway keys. And this is also going to power through New Zealand. New Zealand is a prime spot for the rising of new earthlands. New Zealand's going to grow in size. New Zealand is going to be like 6 to 7 times what it is now in the future. This is the thing is this diamond energy system has lain dormant in the planet for billions of years. That's now reawakening through the diamond planetary activations more and more. And so this is what I'm really talking about when we're embracing the diamond codes to come alive in your auric, in your astral field, and your full blueprint templating, celestial templating. So another important location to this is a spot called False Bay. I'll just put a marker here really quick and then zoom out. But essentially False Bay, this corner tip here in South Africa, it guards the crystalline grids. It guards the diamond architecture. There's actually like guardian spirits here. There's oceanic spirits that are considered holy, 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 the holiest places on Earth. And so this is kind of like there are gatekeeper spirits here that are working through the portals in Table Mountain. There's also guardians at Cape Point as well. This is another point in which they are running guardian spirits to assist with the diamond resurrection as it goes through its phases. So all the way down on that point. Okay. All the guardian spirits are really here down at the tip of South Africa. And then they're all running again, like I said, through the portals of Table Mountain. Now, one thing that really came up in our African Gridworker blackout remote mission that we did is for Africa, and in terms of healing, is the fever tree. And I even put that in the title, and I just wanted to say thank you for the beautiful soul that brought that up in that session. But essentially, the fever tree in Africa, when we were doing the grid work, you can go back and watch it again, it called to us to reveal the healing plant essence of mother's milk, the breast milk, the sap from the tree, having healing properties. And then later found out that Christians actually believed that the fever tree was used for the crown of thorn on Christ's head. And so it's a powerful tree. It's a powerful symbol. And that these trees have, metaphysical and global grid healing properties in terms of healing the dark heart of Africa, restoring the star diamond heart of Africa, and that they're working within the crucifixion wounding of the lands of Africa to clear these grids of these negative distortions and enslavement codes and king of tyranny wounding, core world wounding into the masculine and feminine bodies here on this earth in terms of persecution, men and women. And so these tree systems really kind of came alive and were bearing a lot of nurturing wealth to give back to the lands, to restore the people, to restore the organic code. In Zimbabwe, an energy river flows from the Temple of the Sun that carries the white flame and the white ray. Now, this is one of the more important essences to the diamond network and infrastructure, in which happens is the white ray soul body, the white ray lineages, the white flames. These all get activated to run purification codes at stronger frequencies, stronger acceleration, stronger electromagnetic fields, and it carries these white rays and flames accordingly to the diamond architecture grid network and runs the purity flames through Australia to the Temple of the Sun back to Zimbabwe. And this activates the entire Southern Hemisphere, South Africa, Australia, Antarctica, as a foundation for the Golden Age. So this is, I mean, there's no doubt that this isn't the area of resurrection of where this prophecy begins. New Earth, new age, new Earth prophecy begins. Ancient technology is essentially going to be returned back to mankind through pure celestial fire clearing rounds in the race morphogenetic field. And then that is what will continue to awaken those serpent soul river lines, these underground serpent cities. Talked about them being under Los Angeles. There's a serpent city under Los Angeles, which is we're getting closer to the serpent's nest, so to speak. And so it's going to be bringing up these oppressed pagan cultural serpent tribal rites from prehistoric submerged cities and lands and civilizations. And this will regenerate, get stronger and stronger. This is one of the reasons, honestly, why I have been an ambassador or a galactic advocate for the last 5-6 years. I don't even know, whenever I came into the activation of my Hydra code, okay, where I reawakened through the Hydra system and into seeing the birthing of the Hydra system into the collective consciousness. And a Hydra Akashic field has been reawakening for some time. I did an article about this on my website. I think about 3,000 people have read it. You guys should go check out sign up for my website email newsletters at my website, IndigoAngel222.com. I've written about all of this stuff extensively. I have blogs and blogs and blogs and blogs and blogs talking about the future prophecy, talking about the resurrection of the serpent and the Hydra codes. And so yeah, I'll leave the link in the description. But this is all about resurrection of healing, because the fall of Atlantis truly was considered the serpent cataclysm. So it was a reenactment of Hercules cutting the head of Hydra, being placed in the stars, disguised as Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, holding the trophy of the snake that he keeps suppressed in his hands, guarding the gateway to the galactic core, guarding the gateway to the inner Earth gate systems, guarding the gateway to the inner Earth realms, guarding the gateway to the transitions to get off-world and off-planet in terms of planetary bioregenesis, in terms of releasing Templar seals and prison systems, reincarnation prison systems. So Hydra is coming back to restore aspects of the Seraphim soul body and reclaim dragon parts, begin to repair the natural laws of God, freedom from the burdens of karmic overlays of multiple timelines of the fall of Atlantis, and the burdens of clearing all the miasmic records that accumulate from all stations of identity and all timelines and all ancestors, all slavery from invading species. So this is a huge clearing, right? The cosmic hall of records cleared. This will repair all the way up to the 23rd dimension and restore and fully transmit the sapphire body inside the planet. All 12 central suns activate, which activates the 12 central discs and the feminine portal outside of the Sphinx even more. And so getting back to Egypt over the next 5 or 6 years is going to be imperative for those of us that need to continually regenerate the serpent energy, the diamond infrastructure, to hit that main gateway, the main feminine portal there. That's going to be pivotal to keeping mankind catapulting into the 7th dimension. Again, holding the consistency and the containment field within the grid structures and the ultralight spectrum for those 300,000 guardians and gatekeepers, awakening to work on the cosmic councils of the divine light. So it's a lot to think about, right? There's a lot to understand with all this. One of the other things I wanted to show you guys really quick, actually, was this serpent. I'm just kidding. This is another thing that I found in Algeria that came up in the Gridwork as well, which I think will continue to come up in the future as we work deeper on the lands of Africa. There's never, I mean, the work in Africa is not done. So this is the Nisasanian pentagram. And no one really knows what this is. It is technically an anomaly within the heart veins of the Sahara of Algeria, from Morocco to Algeria. And this is a portal that has been found in the shape of a pentagram. Many believe that it's a satanic portal and that this portal may have been connected to the implosion of the fall of man through the serpent cataclysm, and that this is a gateway that opened up negative or nefarious portals, or the influx or stream of the narcissistic mind-body field templating from the Meldeck system, from the reptilian invaders, from the Anunnaki Draco hybridization programs and forced breeder programs, that this came through this pentagram. So this was something that we've been working to clear also within frequency fences, black hole systems, wormhole systems, any sort of influx that's tagging reality templates and grid structures or consciousness fields within the land to tunnel or catapult them into severe cycles of refall enactment of serpent cataclysm, and just try to clear these lands here of sacred Atlantis. I mean, this really is the area of it. And so, you know, that's kind of an important structure. More to come with that in this Sanian pentagram, because I'm going to be looking more into that actually coming up in the future. But if you guys have anything on it, drop it in the comments. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is holographic architecture. As you guys know, I have the Implant and Seal course coming up at the end of August, last day of August, and then the first 2 weeks of September. And so we're really going to get into what the implants and seals are, like what they look like, how you could, you know, physically pick up on them, how you can pick up on translucent items in one's energy field. And this was something I wanted to get into and kind of touch on due to the course, just to help define more of what these implant systems truly mean. Having the ability to read the architecture. And when we do this, we all heal our ailments essentially in the body, because you're actually going into the living hologram of where things are energetically stored, and you're releasing the blockages and limitations within your physical body, your spiritual immune system, your consciousness, your psyche, your inner psyche, your mental and emotional body, your subconscious, all of these things, right? So we all want to be our highest and most powerful versions of ourselves. We all want to be the attainment of mastery, and also be in that level of a supporter role where we're serving and helping others. So this is how things can be different when we remove the seals, is we restore many deep blueprints and subatomic templating of our universal tree of life. We start to restore the inner God world systems of sovereignty that run through as an encodement template to your universal tree of life. You're removing all the restrictions around that. So you have much more of a progression and acceleration in your life. You have deeper clearing around limiting beliefs of your own abundance and your own ability to achieve. That's kind of like how deep this seal system, it's really just about limiting you from achieving anything. That's, if there's anything that these seal systems are preventing, it's from you being nothing. You being nothing, doing nothing, getting nowhere. That's what they ultimately want. Okay, and so we remove the energetic blockages that prevent that from happening. And this includes universal seal systems, which is another term for planetary holographic implants running within particular timelines and genetics. So I'm going to explain how this kind of works. All about consciousness, and consciousness energy essentially is living. All implants and seals, it's like a conscious energy that's taking form. And it stores, it retrieves experiences, it retrieves meaning in the universe, and it's projecting, it's expanding, it's blocked in certain areas. At times, there's different certain frequencies and multidimensional models of the hologram. And it actually helps comprise and it helps to sustain and contain the pattern of the living hologram. Okay. Human consciousness in general is comprised within a personal light body hologram, which attunes itself to the larger universal hologram by the medium of energetic exchanges and information held within light. It's held within sound, it's held within electrotonal codes and the unified field. And so what I'm breaking down for you is essentially how holograms work, how our reality is a consciousness hologram. So the implant systems are also that. So understanding implant systems and seals and how to work within this is understanding the dynamicism of your hologram and taking the sovereignty or the empowerment back to command things back to its original divine state. These holograms are really important to work with because they are the manifestation of properties of light. So you want to be able to clear how the light is produced and transmitted and how it interacts with itself in your own field. As multidimensional consciousness evolves throughout the alchemy of time and space, as the grid collapses and everything within the hologram will also collapse, helping it to understand the ascension processes. But, you know, these things do get trapped in the hologram. They get trapped in the light, especially if one doesn't have awareness and can't command and collapse those things down themselves. And so it's about learning how to navigate in between these further neurological transmits from the brain instruction sets to the external images, into the external images, and then into the context for your reality. And so what has happened is an inorganic state has defined and built artificially into through extra dimensional entities, through lesser spirits, through lower forms, through soul harvesting, through Templar systems, through Metatronic coding, through hacked and biohacked artificial grid matrices, infiltration, and enslavement of beings. It's basically subjugated to its realm of its own reflection of light. And so these implants are sometimes ego filters, they're sometimes collective archetypes, they're sometimes addiction programs, they are sexual misery programs, they are mind control structures, they are alien implants, they are examples of inorganic reflections of holographic architecture. And so it's actually built into the dead energy structures through frequency manipulation. And this is how they are able to invade the planet without being physically seen and detected by the spiritually oppressed human masses. And so by superimposing these refracted light spectrums to be directed at the whim of controlling entity with it, whoever's being controlled, half the people on this freaking planet and in the higher conscious community are MK ultra'd out of their freaking minds. Okay. It's through a hidden agenda, and the entities create overlays of perception and control them through those lower layers of what I was just saying with the ego filters and the collective archetypes, the addiction programs. And so it's, you know, deeper layers of mind control. And this is called a holographic implant or a holographic insert, is when they can control the consciousness of the identity, and eventually through subversion of the original identity, they can possess the being's body and mind to become subservient to their agenda. That's what J-seals technically are, subservient to their agenda. Again, so this is what marks the soul for not being able to evolve past enslavement, wounding, persecution, crucifixion, which is directly meant to keep you out of a sovereign state completely. This is usually the primary driver for keeping people entrapped into the matrix system. Now, with the J-seals, the Draco seals, and the masculine and feminine wounding implant seal system, all four of these seal systems, these entirely come through the development of frequency fences on the earth. This was something I was really sensing around the pentagram, the Nissaanian pentagram in Algeria. You hear me calling out things like frequency fences in the Gridwork videos all the time. This is where galactic history speaks to several underground bases and locations where they've artificially blown up crystal generators. They've abused the crystal technology. This was the fall serpent cataclysm of Atlantis. And this is where the resistance energy is seeded into the lands through artificial vortexes and negative human technology. So I really feel like this has something to do with the waters, again, where there is mass tampering to add to undetectable elements that repress the human natural immunological responses. I just gather this by how connected I've been to water lately. It's also through the foreign electrical magnetic pulses and these reality bubble traps in which we go into. You may find that it gets collectively harder and harder to travel because you're going in and out of these EM pulses. You're going in and out of frequency fences. You're taking a much more direct hit on the immune system just by entering on and off a plane, going in and out of these reality tempered zones where higher radiation, higher exposure to all of the toxins. And so multiple things happening here with this in ways it's happening. But what they're doing is they're running phantom electrical pulses that will transmit through the Earth's grid's bioenergetic hologram and electrotonal chemical systems of humans into mass electrical power stations. And these typically power reincarnation soul harvesting egregores, the Templar egregores, that's what they are. And this is what runs those deeper levels of persecution and crucifixion of all different kinds. And the phantom pulses follow the natural flow of electricity from the main power generation plants into all electrical systems, drawing power from those plants transmitted through all commercial and residential electrical devices. Okay, and lots of other ways too. They're bigger particle accelerators and HARP and weather modification and dark military as well. Dark military has been coming up a lot lately with this. And so it's creating a huge disruption within the bioenergetic fields of humans, which manifest as bioneurological, emotional, perceptual blockages. And these are essentially harnesses on human consciousness. This is what results in resistance then and transmits the holographic inserts, implants, and seals and subliminal impulse human behavior response patterns through subconscious and physical body patterning. And then implants and seals will be the resistance that they're using. They're basically using the resistance in your own body against you, the technologies of your own body against you. That's what's happening. So, and then after about 6 years of covert electromagnetic manipulation imprint, it becomes strong enough to override your natural DNA imprint. And essentially it imprints your personal morphogenetic field, becomes a genetic mutation with the human DNA. And it becomes genetically passed through breeding, in our case, forced breeding and hybridization programs of our time. And so this is how we inherit forced breeder implants. This is how we inherit J seals. This is how we inherit Draco seals. We can change and alter these things and adjust the refracted light patterns through, just compassionately witnessing what it is. And applying pure love through our spiritual body consciousness to remove the harmful frequency devices. I've developed my own methodologies for this and my own charting system and meanings of things to find deeper meaning to this. So this is why I would highly encourage the seal certification and implant course removal. We're really going to go into the depth of all of this. It's going to familiarize yourself with deeper levels of psychic depth perception. It's also going to get you all of the awareness around the implants and seal systems, how this works on the earth. It's going to empower the ability for others to continue to restore on these much deeper levels of Akashic healing and revealing and sovereignty and freedom. And so I highly recommend that you guys join me for this course because we're about to gear up at the end of August. I look forward to diving in with this course. I think it's going to be real insightful, real in depth. We're going to go into the depth of reading holographic architecture. So we will continue to expand off of this more and more as we get closer and approach the course dates. And I look forward to diving in with everyone. I am offering the diamond package now currently as well. So you can click on the description link to check out the diamond package. And yeah, guys, I will be back shortly with another update and some remote views. I think we're going to be heading into the underground locations in LA And thank you guys so much for watching today. I love you all. I'll be back with another update. See you soon.